Hello and welcome to part 2 of our topic, Lichen Planopilaris.
You're saying it better.
I think, no, it just sounds better because the way it just flows out of my tongue. I don't know if that's the way you say it, but we're talking about Lichen Planopilaris.
Planopilaris.
We're here with Carnitas. If you don't know what we're talking about, go back and watch our part 2 video.
Part 1 video.
You're a dumbass.
Yeah. Sitting on the couch with the InGENIUSES. For the first time ever, we're talking about a serious topic. We're not dicking around. Well, sort of, but... Part 2, you were diagnosed with Lichen Planopilaris.
Yes.
Sometime last year. So prior to you starting to feel uncomfort in your head, wasn't there anything else that started to raise red flags for you to go to the doctor, to the specialist? There was nothing else on your skin going on or anything that you at one point you actually stopped and say, what the heck's going on with me?
Actually, yes. Like I mentioned to you earlier, since I was little, I was very sensitive to the light. And I even thought, like maybe I'm allergic to sun. Who the hell knows? I would get so itchy. I would get rashes. Anywhere where my skin got red, like a sunburn, literally on the spot, it would turn dark. I got burnt right there. And it turns brown. It just turns dark, period. So anywhere where, these are not bruises, guys, okay?
Those are those marks.
Yeah. Right here on my elbow too, it was very brown, and especially on this one, because when I'm driving, you're driving and the sun hits you.
So give it a few years and you're gonna end up looking like a human cow.
Maybe.
Not the size, but because of the spots. Yeah.
No, but
a
prior
Dalmatian,
to
let's
that,
just say a Dalmatian, okay?
Prior to that, little rashes here on my feet. I noticed my face. I had
You noticed your face?
It literally in my face. Stop up.
Your face. What happened with
in
your
my
face?
face? Actually, we went out, and I was exposed out in the sun. We were at the beach, and I thought, I just got sunburned, right? Because it started literally again itching, and it feels like a sunburn. But it turned purple, kind of like when you have a bruise.
Kind of a Oompa Loompa?
Not purple like that, but when you have a bruise.
Oh, sorry, Oompa Loompas are orange. I mean the girl that swallows the bubble gum and turns into purple. You turn into a Smurf.
I wish, at least. The Smurfette is more sexy. But I did notice, I try to cover it with makeup and it would literally peel off, kind of scale off.
What, the makeup?
No, my skin. So I couldn't even cover it with makeup, and we actually have pictures to show you kind of what all this area looked. And back then I was a newlywed, with my baby daddy, and they actually thought he was beating me up because it looked that bad. All of this right here, and it started escalating all the way up here. And not too long ago, I think it was back in 2017, that I had this whole area right here literally just peeling off, and it was frustrating.
You were a chameleon, maybe.
No, more like a snake.
Okay.
It felt like that, shedding everywhere. All of this was itchy and
sorry, I know we're trying to be serious, but I just can't contain myself.
Yeah, you're just an asshole.
You said you were a lot heavier back then. You lost a lot of weight. Do you not think for a moment that when you were shedding off, you were probably turning just into a Fiona? For an ogre mode?
I actually felt like a Fiona.
The ogre mode?
Yeah. Ugly.
No, anyway, sorry to interrupt. I have to put my little grain of humor into all our videos. I can't contain myself.
We can't stay serious.
Anyway, proceed to what you were saying.
So, after having all this you know,
Was
I
it like a
tried.
rash?
I thought it was like eczema because that's what it looked like. It looks like a rash, red, and then it would, after it was red pink, it would turn dark, like a purple looking dark skin spot. Bad. It was bad. I was like that probably for 2 to 3 years tops with this, battling this whole. I would apply lotions. I bought every eczema cream out there. Nothing would help. And when I stopped going out to the sun, because I was working at the hospital all day long, I would come in when it was dark, come out when it was dark. So I literally had no sun in my life for about 2.5 years is when it started getting better.
See, and it really sucks that at some point you go to your doctors, you go to your specialist, and you, in the back of your head, because all the diagnosis they're running and all the pre-results they're giving you, you start to wonder, I'm sure probably you went through the back of your head, what a stupid ass doctor, what an ignorant ass mother effer. Because obviously these symptoms you're describing, it could just seem like an eczema, acne,
psoriasis.
Just
I mean, they gave me everything, Sapo. Like,
little did anyone know that at the end it's gonna be something
more serious,
extremely rare. Lichen Planopilaris. I just like saying that, but whether I'm saying it right or not, I don't give a rat's ass. But
you still say it.
Yeah, but so I can't imagine going through those first phases of the treatment or just the diagnostics, which of course you mentioned it took blood tests, 2 biopsies, and no one had a clue. Everyone was just predetermining on what could possibly be just based on your skin condition.
It's just frustrating how they guess. Oh, I think it's this, so let's run this test to find out. And you know, honestly, all these tests are expensive. Mm-hmm. And most of these tests, my insurance was not covering it. So regardless, you know, we're over here trying to find out what's wrong with me. You're willing to pay for the creams, for the injections, for testing, biopsies, labs, all this shit that at the end, you know, you're like, well, were you really guessing, or is this really what I have? Because I doubted my doctor. I did. I questioned her so much, and I remember even taking a friend of mine that actually has lupus, and we questioned her like, no, there was no other way. Like, are you sure this is what you're talking about? I have no other symptoms of lupus, and for you to qualify for a lupus diagnosis, you need to have this, and that. And so that's why the doctor's like, no, like it's something else. You know, this is what the test reads. So the reason why your skin gets dark like that, it's because of this. So it all made sense, you know, after she actually explained it to me. How all these little patches that I had all over my body, it's all the same thing. It's just called differently because it's in the body, and it's specifically planopilaris in the hair because it affects the hair.
In this channel, we're trying to see everything, the humor in our everyday life.
Even in the worst.
Yeah, even in the worst. We try to see everything from a positive aspect, from a positive point of view, even in really serious conditions and extreme adversities that we face, and this is one of them. I can't imagine when you don't have all the answers, your doctors don't have all the answers, you're going through that depression, frustration, and you can't turn anywhere because not because it's only a rare disease, but because like not until you actually start looking and probably looking into groups of people who may have these, they don't even have all the answers, and they're all trying to
it's a
help
little
one
community.
another. Yes.
It is.
So I can't imagine how would someone try to see life with a positive point of view, knowing that they don't have a solution to something. So we've been trying to implement the way we look at life, the way we look at challenges, and this was one of them. If there's not a solution. Well, let's take a different approach. Just like it should be with anything else. Because we go into an instant shock of something we did not expect, we can possibly think of the worst. We don't think of an alternative way how to resolve it, whether it was our fault or not. It goes with everything else on how we look at things. Lately, I've been trying to practice that into my own self, at work, personal life, here with the channel, trying to look at everything in a positive way, in a different approach. It is tough when you don't have the answers. When you look through all the resources that are within your reach and you still don't have answers.
And
it is frustrating.
And not just that, but the fact that you're looking out there for them and then nobody knows, or whoever little community that I'm actually part of, like those little groups where I'm like, okay, I'm not alone out there, right? But most of these people that are out there, they're older than me. I'm talking about 40, 50. I came across with one girl that I think she's on her 30s. But I noticed I'm one of the younger ones that has this, which it kind of threw me off, because I'm like, why is this happening to me so young, you know? Like, nobody knows, and it is frustrating, not just to not know it, but to go through it and feel alone. That's mainly the whole frustration, the whole depression, you know, the denial that I had was having to go through it pretty much alone, having to hide it, because it is embarrassing, like I said, as a girl, to have all this. The skin does not look pretty. First of all, like, there's a lot of people out there, they're so cruel that, you know, if they look at it, they're like, what is that? And instead of actually having a better approach to you, they just look at you, and you can feel the judgment, you know? That's the most uncomfortable thing too. I'll be wearing my beanies, my hats, you know, turning my hair one way, and I got tired of hiding it. I got frustrated from having to find a way to cover it with my hair so they won't notice what I have, because not even half of my family knew what I was going through. Mm-hmm. Very few people those first, I'm gonna say maybe months, didn't know what I was going through and what was happening to me. Friends or acquaintances, they noticed I was starting to gain weight. Hey, what's wrong with you? Like, hey, you're gaining weight. Like, you watch out what you're eating. You know, like, people see pictures out there, or they see you out there, and they just like, oh, she's probably eating too much. You know, little things like that it does bother. You know, at least it was bothering me a lot. The fact that I already have to deal with the fact that my body is betraying my own body. You know, and why it's doing that to myself. And then to know that I'm losing my hair and I'm fat or big. I don't want to say fat, because I was pretty swollen. I want to say it like that. Mm-hmm. And then looking at myself on the mirror like, who the hell is going to want this kind of shit? You know, like, I even told you, I don't know if you remember, like, do you even really want to deal with this? And you've been so supportive with me. Going through all this process, it sucks. It's painful. The discomfort. Feeling hideous. And then, you know, having to hide it or going through it silently, I think is what it was killing me the most. Not having to show or putting that shell or that face that everything was okay when everything was like literally falling apart.
See, this might be movie quotes, or they might not, but or maybe I'm just gonna rephrase them, reword them a little bit. But it is sad that now in society people like to judge what they don't know. People are afraid of what they don't know, and when they don't know, in someone you can say they're ignorant, and they like to jump into conclusions of stuff they are not very knowledgeable. again, I was gonna say that's where we try to take a different approach nowadays on how we look at things, on problems that don't have a solution. Um, you were going through the process of just how can we look at it different, where people are gonna understand them, even though we don't have to prove. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. No one, you don't know any explanations of why you're gaining weight, why you have going through these, why you this or why that, why you're doing your hair do this way or that way, until you finally give them the long ass explanation, no different than when we're doing this video. But of course, this is just with the way the reason why we're doing this video is just for inform you, all you guys out there. But I remember some of your family members, I'm not gonna name who, the moment they saw you with a new hairdo, they gave you this face, they gave you these comments, they didn't know any better. But and it is sad, and I want to invite you all. We're not psychologists or anything, but you have our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, here, YouTube. Feel free to reach out to us, because we can try to help you take a different approach into how to look at things. Again, we're not doctors, we don't have our PhDs, but at least that will make us feel better that you're not alone, you're reaching out to someone, which in many cases, even if that someone doesn't have the answer, it is great to feel that you have the freedom to reach out to someone, that you're not afraid hiding in the shadows because of what people are gonna say. No different than us, you working with your problem and doing your hairdos, these cool designs that we're gonna talk about it in a minute. I want to invite you all to do the same thing. You don't have to reach out to us if you don't want to. Of course, who are we to give you the best advice, right? Probably not, of course. But don't be afraid to reach out to those you feel very close to, the closest to you. Sometimes family are going to be the most harsh people because they feel the comfortability level to come and tell you don't do this, don't do that, especially your parents or someone.
And also, not just that, I mean, not just family, not just even close friends, but like people, you know, that they see this problem and they're like, have you tried this? Have you tried that? Like, oh, I heard if you do this natural remedy. I'm like, I have tried everything that you can think of, even applying tomato on my head. As funny as that sounds. I mean, I've heard it all. Put onion on it, put this, put that. And yes, I've tried it. Even by trying it, it makes my skin more irritated. I end up just taking it off. What can I do? And that's an approach that I've actually gotten, you know, like, oh, you should try this and you should try that, but it'll make your hair grow, plasma injections. Why don't you go, you know, and get those, I don't know, the hair implant. If I get hair implant, I even try to, you know, go for a consult for that. Well, yeah, if you get a hair implant, your own body will attack it, so there goes your money. Like, there's no way that you can, well, they told me, wear a wig. There goes Carnes and buys a wig. I have my wig right there, you know? I'm actually ready mentally now to say, per se, for whenever I have to go all bald and rock the bald look. But I think by far, like you say, reaching out to somebody that you actually feel comfortable to talking, maybe just to vent out and, you know, vent out your frustrations, because I think, like I said, going through the silence of it, the hiding, the darkness of it by yourself, it really was eating me up.
Mm-hmm. And when I say reach out to someone, I mean physically reach out to someone. Don't start posting. I think I would say stay the hell away from social media until you can find a solution, if not a different approach to how to work with the issue. Social media could be the harshest. I don't know if that's even a word. Harshest. And people are either gonna be supportive, but will not have the solutions, meaning they will only be there emotionally supportive, or you're gonna have the people
that are mean.
That are mean, and they're gonna start judging you because you have a million piercings or a hairdo. I know I've been those type of persons. I'm gonna admit, like, you see someone who's full of tattoos, and not that specific example, but let's say someone with a crazy hairdo, million colors, or lots of tattoos, lots of piercings. You don't know if they have a skin condition. And most of the people, again, I'm gonna put my shoes into most of the general society. People are gonna go like, oh, look at that freak or whatever.
That weirdo.
They don't know. I mean, that's it could be a lifestyle. They're into tattoos. They're into piercings. It's a lifestyle. They're in no way harming your life. Leave them the alone.
Like my grandpa would say, live happy and let others do whatever the they want so they can be happy too.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's true.
Exactly. Yeah. You're not paying for the living. You're not paying for those tattoos. You're not paying for those treatments. You're not paying for those piercings. You're not paying for those hair colorings. You're not paying for any of that. So
colorings. You just made me remember.
How the F does that even bother you if someone's gay, if someone's bi, if someone's this, if someone's
they're fucking
that?
Or, it's true. There's a lot of people that care, like, and they're the worst people.
Yeah.
Honestly. But anyway, right now that you said hair dye, hair color, they told me, well, maybe it's all the hair dye, because I don't know if you guys remember, it was half red, half black, right? And yes, the maintenance of the red and having to dye your hair every 2-3 weeks, I did ask my dermatologist, could it be the hair dye on my first consult? And she's like, that has nothing to do with your hair loss. So no, all this, people thinking, oh, it's because you dye your hair too much. That has nothing to do with what I have.
However, that was not in your case. However, it could be that maybe you dye your hair too much if you have other conditions that, I don't know, again, in your skin, in your scalp. That could be something. So if you're
allergic to whatever,
you will have to consult your own doctor, specialist, because we're telling you that it isn't. So in your case,
in my case, it has nothing to do with. And she encouraged me, whatever hair you have left, go ahead and enjoy it, because you never know if it's gonna get worse, and it will get worse before it gets better. Because eventually, it might go dormant, it might start falling off again, it might not. I mean, there's, like I said, there's not real answers into what I actually have.
Which is where we're gonna go into.
Yeah.
We found an answer, rather a different approach into it.